Hello and good evening, and welcome along to TCSRL. Uh, this is a new season, and you have a new comms team. Just want to give a shout out to Andrew Paul, who's the normal comms guy for this league. He's taken a bit of a sabbatical, so here I am in his stead. So my name is Mike Bull. You may remember I've commented on this league before, but I'm back with TCSRL. We will be welcoming back Aaron, who's raced in this league and done comms with us as soon as he gets home from work. And I'm delighted to welcome along as well a sim racing expert from the lands of ACC. General nice guy, big touring car fan, particularly with the British Touring Car Championship, and this is Matty Heaton. So Matty, welcome along to TCSRL.
Thank you very much, Mike. I'm looking forward to it. As you say, no touring car driving experience, more GTs, but big fan of the British touring cars, and I'm glad to be here and I look forward to the season ahead.
Look, I'm sure the insights will be there. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, is just bringing your knowledge to the front. You've watched the racing, you've done some racing, and at the end of the day, they've all got four wheels and putting black tyres down on the black stuff. So they're all much of a muchness when it comes to that. So I'm sure we'll get on like a house on fire, mate. Right. So we are experiencing a brand new season. Here comes Mr. Markham. He's just loading up, as you can see there. We've got a brand new season. For the first time, TCSRL is dipping its toe into the Super Tourers. So these Super Tourers are brand new well, not brand new now, but they've been out for a little while on Race Room. But this is the first time that we are dipping our toes into those waters, so it'll be an interesting season. I believe we've got 17 drivers on the grid for tonight, which is a nice spread. Hopefully we'll get some nice close racing. Aaron, cheers for finishing your dinner and coming to join us, mate. Hope you're well.
Not a problem. All is well in the Markham household, don't you worry.
Excellent news, that's what we like to hear. We'll be dipping into qualifying in just a couple of minutes. I think there's about 3 minutes of practice left before we go over to that. So Aaron, you're the only one of us really that's driven these cars on this sim, so have you got any sort of insights that would be useful for us just to know before we get started with this sort of new class of cars that we're venturing into?
Yeah, they're a lot lighter than the touring cars that me and you were used to, Mike. So they have a bit of a nicer feel overall in the medium speed. You don't feel like you're slugging a tank around. But the main thing is four-wheel drive is a thing in the Audis, and trust me, that is understeer central. But in traction zones, it's brilliant, and it is by far the quickest car that is in the Super Tourer package. There is a massive split between the best cars and the worst cars, whereas the touring cars, obviously the Cupra tended to be the better car. In these things, it's not as if the field spread between cars is as tight, so expect to maybe see guys a lot off the pace or a lot in front. Maybe that might be more fair to say. They could, in a nutshell, the field spread could be a lot bigger, but it doesn't mean that the cars are any less fun to drive. If anything, they're more fun to drive. The sounds are all completely different, so that each car's got a unique sort of thing that it offers. And one thing that we found as well, or when I drove them, is that every car has something to offer. So for me and yourself, Mike, we love the Honda because of the brakes. The Cupra was brilliant at pretty much everything. So it's the same in the Super Tourers. Every car kind of has a niche. So yeah, a lot of the guys will have probably practiced that, put it into the minds of, okay, this is what I like from a car, I'm going to choose the BMW as an example. So that's probably what we're going to expect to see tonight.
And I'm assuming they're the same in terms of setup. There's no traction control, no ABS. They are as raw as they come in that respect.
Yep, all the same aspects that we used to put up with. So for guys watching at home who maybe don't know, we run fixed setups in this league, so the only thing that changes between the entirety of the cars is brake bias, so whether it goes further forward or back, and fuel load. That is it. That's all the guys can change. So Not too sure what the sweet spot is with Super Tourers, but we'll soon find out when we do some driver interviews and ultimately pick the brains of the guys who are racing tonight.
Absolutely, we will. So no driver aids and no setups. So it's as raw and down to the driver as it can be, really. So absolutely right. Let's.
We could always blind commentate. That might be fun.
I'm not going to lie. As soon as you said that it could be the full grid flipping round, my eyes lit up. That'd bring some interesting racing with the slower guys and the faster guys trying to get through without, of course, getting knocked off the black stuff.
Oh, absolutely. We've seen it time and time again. We've been part of it. We've been there, getting passed by these guys who are absolute aliens to say the least in touring cars. I mean, you're on board with the biggest alien I know, and he happened to be my teammate one year. He was phenomenal in reverse grid scenarios. Just always found a way through. I don't know about yourself, mate, but I always found the secret to a decent reverse grid was just patience. Don't rush the move. Those guys in front of you are slow. You know you're faster. Just bide your time. The move will come to you. You don't have to force the move.
Can't say I do. No, I'm aware of it from being a Formula One fan, but it's not one that I've driven myself. I don't think it's on ACC in the GTs, so it's not one I've driven. I can, yeah. I mean, one of the best drivers in the world, and if he's having moments, the rest of us have got absolutely no hope.
Yeah, I suppose that's a throwback to how we would maybe expected to see. You know, there was always that clear group of front runners, midfield, and the back. And I know Russ and the guys structured the league in that kind of way as well, with professionals, pro-ams, and amateurs, and having the different championships. So maybe it's not too unsimilar or dissimilar to see that so far, but. You know, like you said, we don't know what these guys are running fuel-wise. You know, a lot of the lads could be building into a run and going for 4 or 5 laps. Some of the guys might hot lap and escape like Shaw's did. So we might see that field spread shorten itself, but with it being such a big track and such a long track, I'm expecting the gaps to maybe be a bit larger than what we'd usually see. Fair enough. Well, we go through the re-profiled last corner. That was re-profiled to suit MotoGP. A bit very off camber. Will be very difficult in the BMW because all the traction in those rear wheels will be working against Russ Butcher. But I imagine he'll be braking around the 100-metre board, which it looks like he is. Nailing the apex, to be fair, in a car that all it wants to do is probably slide away from the corner. But so far so good. That is very nice through turns 1 and turns 2 as we build back up the bank now, approaching the sector 1 timeline. We run a little bit uphill here, so sector 1 really is probably a decent area for a rear-wheel drive car like the BMW. Where it might struggle is in the middle of sector 2 and towards the end of it as well, as we get this sweeping left and right handers which are brilliant in open wheels, probably painful in a touring car because you're just waiting on the throttle to go full power. But Russ here seems to be on a nice lap. He's hitting every apex and seems to be hitting pretty good lines, so clearly the guy's had some practice. We can't fault that. Through the double right hander, it's one continuous sweep of the steering wheel there and it'll pretty smooth for us. So we approach the sector 2 timeline. We're not a million miles away from it, into another hairpin. Little bit of a struggle there as we flick away and then back to Russ. Thank you, Mike. Sweeping left, it's a queer corner that. It's you are braking and turning, so it's very easy to lose the car, but Russ doing a very good job. That BMW seemingly on rails. Little dab of the brakes there into the left-hander as we sweep again. Another corner where you brake whilst turning, so very easy to lose the car again, but seemingly no problem for Russ. Gets a pretty nice exit there, and now this is the easy part of the lap. Relax. We've got that run back up to the off-cambered hairpin, so all he's going to be doing now, he'll have a point that he's going to brake at, whether it's with the curbs, the barriers, and he's nailed that braking point. A couple of different lines you can take through here with it being off-cambered, but Russ chooses to go pretty close to the curb, sends him out onto the exit curb, and then it's a run straight to the line. Doesn't stick to the white line, takes a more natural racing line, and that's P8 for us.
I'll be honest, I did the same as you. It's been a while, but on one of the old Formula One games, I have driven around here. I mean, it was a long time ago, and it was most certainly on a pad rather than when I got into sim racing. The long sweeping corners while you've got a break, it very much reminds me of the last corner at Snetterton, coming around Coram into Murray's to come down around the final corner. It was one that I could never really get right. It's something that I was always fearful of, getting on the brakes whilst also turning. My lack of control of a car at the best of times wasn't great, so trying to brake and turn is it's going to take some doing from these drivers, and fair play to them in these old cars.
Yeah, it's a brilliantly sort of thought out system. I know when we first started doing TCSRL, there wasn't many leagues that did that or offered the extremities of ballast that we did. So when we sort of offered that, it was kind of a sell point, and still is to this day. For some of the guys, I don't know if you touched on this before I joined in, but we run 2 times tyre wear. I'm not sure if that's been replicated into this season, but typically that's what the guys used to run, and it was a balancing act. Ultimately, you could have guys that would be like Shaw's, absolute like great over a qualifying lap, and come to the race, it was so easy to cook a tyre. You know, a lot of these cars are front wheel drive. It's dead easy to spin that up through a corner on traction. So short shifting and managing the tyres ultimately can come to aid you. Maybe it's not necessarily as much as other sims like R Factor, but really at the end of a stint, you know, we're talking the last 1 or 2 laps. If you've got those tyres underneath you, it can make a huge difference, and that can be the difference between 1 or 2 places on the starting grid. If you've got a close field, that's everything. And then before you know where you are, you've got a better position for race 2, which puts you in great stead for the reverse grid. And it could be the difference for a midfield guy starting on pole or not getting the reverse, or vice versa. It could be the difference between winning a race or losing a race.
Absolutely. Just introducing you guys to one of our new screens as well, so we can see here some data on the drivers. It shows us their quickest laps and their average lap, which is really insightful. But the main thing for me is that consistency rating. So you can see here just how consistent the drivers are. Just to pick two drivers there, so you've got Shoke in 7th, who's at 97%, and Rob South just behind him at 99%. So although he's a couple of tenths slower than him, he actually is more consistent. So you may find within a race, despite Shoke being a faster driver, with his inconsistency, I say inconsistency, he's still 97%, I'm not calling him a bad driver, but with Rob having a 99% consistency, that really could make the difference in a race situation where people can make mistakes. And it's over those, you know, over a 15-minute race, Matty, isn't it, where those mistakes tell, and that extra 2% could make the difference for somebody like Rob South.
Oh, big time! 100% consistency is huge in races. Full stop. You can, especially a short race, if you drop a tyre onto the grass, lose the back end, you drop back 3 or 4 places. It's such a short race. You're done for. You're going to really struggle to get back through the pack, and that's where it's going to cost you points in the championship over the season.
Absolutely. We've got incidents we can pull up as well and see the.
It was launch control, but do the Super Tours have launch control? That's the question.
I mean, it was half a second quicker than anybody else, which it's telling that he's got that talent and he's a multiple champion in this league. So he's certainly going to be one to watch, and I'm very intrigued what he's going to be like when he's got to make his way through the pack after the reverse.
Not really, no. I wonder if Russ has had an anti-Audi ban, which is very plausible because it is four-wheel drive, because I spot no Audis on the grid. But what I do spot is a lot of Alfa Romeos, so I wonder if the Alfa is the best front-wheel drive car that you can get in the Super Tours. There we go. Oh, absolutely, and I think with all the smoke, there's definitely no launch control, so that's probably something, if I know Stu will have been practicing that as we flick back to David Phillips. That must have been an incident there. Look at this.
I was just going to say how it's amazing to see these older cars. You get the odd event here and there, especially in Britain, where you get the older cars racing. You get a lot of the old British touring car drivers that are racing their old cars from years gone. But you just don't get the chance to see them that often. So even to see them in a sim, it's beautiful to see.
Yeah, I guess we'll be sitting arrivederci to the rest of the field. So it's if this is what's in a glimpse of what's in store for the rest of the season, I'll snap your hand off. A three-way battle for the lead is what you want every race. Proper touring cars. This would be bold. Oh, he backed out of it.
Oh, big time. I mean, this wheel-to-wheel, door-to-door action is absolutely phenomenal. It's coming from the sim racing world of GT. It's not this close. We have moments, as you boys know, I have moments of rubbing his racing, shall we say, but this is phenomenal. And the slipstream, especially down this very long straight into turn one, is, I think there's going to be quite a bit of action down into T1 as we see him going up the inside. Oh.
User through though.
Also bearing in mind that these three are teammates when it comes to the manufacturer championship as well, so it's looking good for that Alpha team.
User ran wide. Don't make it three wide. Oh, he's gonna make it three wide. Oh my word.
This is phenomenal. He's gone. Is he? Oh,
There's cars inside each other. Oh my word!
this is phenomenal racing from these three guys, and they're keeping it clean, which is so impressive.
And somehow Hughes is still in the lead. There's 2 three-way battles, by the way. You've got the top 3 and then 4th, 5th and 6th. And there's nothing between those guys either. Soki, Lawson and Papadim. It used to be 20, but I have a sneaky feeling it might have raised. Look at the run that BMW gets out of the last corner. Oh, Poddy on the defensive. We both know how defensive Poddy can be.
I have noticed that people are trying to go for the cutback. The cutback is on from the penultimate, from the last corner. The issue with that cutback is it then puts you on the outside of turn 1. There we go. Oh, ooh, he slings it up the inside, and I just don't think that Poddy was expecting him to be there. Maybe as he turns in slightly, a bit of door to door. But as we say, rubbing is racing. It's touring cars. If there's not contact, something's happened. Wrong is going on.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Might be an Alves, yeah. Definitely, and Anton's no slouch. You know, he's been in the league a couple of seasons now. Raced against him a few times. So on it, when he's on it, he is on it. And if he can hook that Audi up, it'll definitely be somewhere towards the front. You know, I'm looking at these guys in 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. Your Russ Butchers, your Poddy Flax, your Rob Souths, Anton. These are all like capable race winners on their day. And if the reverse grid falls in their favour, You know, these guys are going to be tough cookies to get past in that race 3. Just looks like they've strung out a little bit, those gaps at the front now, doesn't it? It looks like it's more of a battle for second than it is for first.
That was absolutely stunning. You see him on the outside the entire way down towards that last corner at the very last minute. I think he did maybe just slide across the back of Stu Neal's car a little bit, but he managed to get that move done beautifully. And there he just seems to park that car exactly where Stu Neal doesn't want him to be, and manages to fend through turn 1 and 2. Absolutely fantastic racing from these guys at the front.
Looks like job done. I'm surprised you haven't shown many Hondas throughout the stream tonight, Mike, you know, with your Honda bias. Or has that disappeared these days with the Lexus? Oh!
Oh, it's tight on the line.
Beat Lawson.
He's got him.
Yeah, I I know on some tracks we were faster, some tracks would be slower. It must just be a factor of these cars that once you've got the fuel load in and the tyres have gone off, the performance really does change a little bit. It'd be interesting to see where those fastest laps came. You know, whether they came at the start of the stint or at the end of the stint once the fuel had burnt off. But that could be a common theme throughout this season. We'll soon find out.
That was incredibly impressive. Just the wheel-to-wheel racing and being able to keep it clean for the most part at the same time was just incredible. All of the drivers, incredibly impressive, and fair play to them. I'm really looking forward to race 2, let alone race 3, and moving through the rest of the season.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if that's what we had in the first race, just imagine all the reverse grids, ballast being applied, and everything else is just going to make it even more exciting. Absolutely brilliant. So we need to do the reverse grid draw now. So I'm just going to pop the wheel up on screen. So we've got the numbers 9 to 18 in the draw, so whatever number it lands on, it's from that point that the grid will reverse. What I can't remember, because it's flashed off my screen unfortunately, is the finishing positions, which is what I was hoping for, so I could see who was where, but unfortunately it's all flashed off screen, so I'm sure somebody will have it. Here we go. I'm about to click the button. Oh, it's going to be a big one.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's huge.
17.
Oh wow!
17 of the 18 cars will be on reverse grid. So the person who finished 18th, which I think was Neil, is the only one who doesn't get the reverse grid opportunity. But other than that, we have a completely reversed grid apart from the last car. I think that's absolutely fantastic. That is going to be super entertaining.
I don't think George User's going to be too impressed with you pulling that one out of the back. He's popping him all the way at the back of the grid.
I'm sure I'm absolutely not going to be that man's best friend. Absolutely not. It's that goes without saying. Look, that was so busy. I forgot to even do any replays because there was just so much going on. I should have smashed the replay button a few times, so we had stuff to go back over. So I'll try and remember to do that in this race now, because we have the facility to record some replays and look back over them and relive some of the moments of each race. So obviously it's first stream. It's the first time I've done this in about 2 years. Well, at least a year anyway, if not more. So yeah, we're a little bit rusty on race 1, but yeah, we'll get there. Here we are then. That is the reverse grid done. Could somebody, one of my colleagues, message Russ with the result of that while I'm messing around here? Just say it's number 17, if that would be okay. And I will try and get us back into the server ready for the next race. So the race 2 will be the finishing positions from race 1. So we saw a lot of people make up positions in that race. Matty, would you expect them to make even more progress again, or would you expect them to finish pretty much where they finished in that race?
There was that much battling and such close racing between certain drivers from race 1 there. I mean, obviously the front 3, but you look at Papadin was really close fighting. Curb Elijah was obviously at the front with those guys. It's that close, anything can happen even from the start of the race. Obviously, they're all on the grid. I am very intrigued how the Audis are going to get on. I don't know about Carl Smith, but Anton Temenga, we very briefly saw it on the stream before it flicked to the front 3 going into turn 1, but he seemed to have an absolute rocket of a start and managed to overtake 2 or 3 cars straight off the line. So I'm very intrigued to see how those Audis get on race 2, being in the positions they are from the race.
Amazing. A very big welcome to Mr. Russ Butcher, CEO and racing driver extraordinaire. How are you, good sir?
I'm very good, mate. Thank you. You?
Yeah, we're good, mate. We're good. Thanks for having us along. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to hand you over to my esteemed colleagues now. I'm going to ask you some very insightful and wonderful racing questions.
No worries.
Oh, who wants to go first? I think I'll dip my hand in first. So, hello, Mr. Butcher. It's a long time no speak. You are. I'm all right. I'm good. You are one of only a few BMW drivers. So,
Yes.
I'd like to know the reason behind that, Russ, and how different is the rear-wheel drive to the front-wheel drive that we're seeing on stream tonight?
Rear-wheel drive. I chose the BMW because I wanted to be different. You know me, I always try and have something completely different. Even in WTCR cars, I'll run something that nobody else is, just to have a bit of fun. And yeah, I jumped in it for a bit of testing, and I just love the fact that when you put your foot down, if you overstep it, the back slides out, and it's a completely different driving experience to driving the front-wheel drive cars. At times, the front-wheel drive cars can be very boring. You know, you got to watch the wheels spin out, the turns, things like that, locking the brakes up. The BMW, you can just stand on the brakes. It's not going to lock up no matter what you do. You can just stand on the brakes. The only thing you got to watch out for is when you put the power down on the way out of the corner, you don't put too much down and just completely 360.
Yeah.
Which nearly did a couple of times, but yeah. So, the advantage, obviously, you probably saw it on stream as Matt alluded to, the four-wheel drive A4 and the rear-wheel drive BMWs get a better start, much better launch than front-wheel drive cars off the line. Normally, typically, you'd hope to maybe make at least one place, possibly 2 or 3, depending how well your launch is and how other drivers either attempt to block you off or not. In Temenga's case, kind of nobody blocked him off, and he just went straight down the inside and parked it on the apex of turn 1 and made about 3 positions. And then towards the end of the race, obviously front-wheel drive cars have all the slow hairpins, things like that. They're chewing the tyres up. So with about 2.5 laps to go, the BMW and the Audi's tyres are in much better shape. So although we may have lost time to the front-wheel drive cars, we can start to claw it back towards the end of races.
Brilliant. So a race of attrition for you guys, really, more than going all good.
Basically, yes. The BMW it's slower down the straights than the Alpha and things, unless it's in a tow. If you can put it in a tow, it will stay there quite happily. If you are ahead of an Alpha or a Volvo, then the BMW tends to get eaten up. I don't know about the Audi, I haven't driven it, but the BMW certainly tends to get eaten up with it. The only other downside to running the BMW is contact, obviously. Any contact on the BMW and you're losing the car. Front-wheel drive car, obviously, if you have a bit of a whack into a corner, you can plant the throttle and it'll bring the rest of the car back round, and you can carry on pretty much okay with the loss of momentum, but pretty much where you were. The BMW, like I say, if you get a tap, especially on a rear quarter into the corners, the car's going round and you're picking yourself up out of the grass or the gravel and trying to get back on track.
Yep, get it. Totally get it. I'll hand over to Matt. I'll stop hogging the mic because Matt might have a couple of questions with him being a bit new to touring cars and race rooms. So there you go, Matt. Have the microphone from me, please.
Thank you very much, Az. First off, lovely to meet you, Russ. I've not actually spoke to you before, and thank you for having me as a part of the championship up here, in the comms box, so to speak. You mentioned a couple of things there about the BMW, how obviously you can, if you manage to get that toe, you can stay in behind, and you're quite good on the brakes. That was actually shown on stream when you had a bit of a battle with Poddy Flack in the Alpha.
Yeah.
And you were stuck up right behind him, and then last minute the last of the late breakers have managed to stick it up the inside, which I certainly don't think Poddy was expecting, as he sort of turned in, I think, not expecting you to be there. Is that what you're expecting from the BMW this season, or do you think that is just purely down to your skill?
It was It was a couple of laps following him, actually, to be honest. I just thought he was braking early. He was braking a lot earlier than I would for turn one. And just that particular lap, I'd got a decent exit out of the final turn, and like I say, managed to stay in the toe of the Alpha, and the Alpha didn't pull away from me. So I thought if he's going to brake where he's been braking, I was going to lunge to the inside at the last minute and just stand on the brakes and wait for the BMW to stop, which is what I did. And yeah, luckily, okay, he turned in and we had a bit of contact, but I'm hoping it wasn't too bad. And yeah, and it looked a fair move, because it felt a fairly fair move. And then, like you say, if you continued watching after that, turn one, turn two, he actually had the run back on me again because of the pace of the Alpha up in towards turn three, but backed out of it. So, and then, like I say, I think his tyres had started to go beyond their best, and I was able to put the rest of the lap together and just get myself a little bit of a buffer away from him.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, we saw it on stream, and we said at the time, it was a move that we just think Poddy wasn't expecting. Hence his turn in. It certainly looked fair from our aspect of things. It didn't look like a dive up the inside at the very last second that was unfair. It was a good move, good clean move, and it was brilliant racing by both of you. We were watching you all the way from, I think, the last corner, where we were looking if you were going to potentially get that switchback. So fantastic
Awesome.
racing.
Awesome. Hopefully you will have seen the message that we've got a 17-car reverse grid coming up for race 3, so that'll be entertaining. Unfortunately, the results had flashed off my screen, so I couldn't actually see what that did. It must be because I'm a bit rusty, maybe, after having so long off. But yeah, that'll make things interesting. But you've just got a couple of seconds left before you've got to get back to race 2. So good luck for this one. Hope you make up. I think you made up the most positions in the last race. You and Poddy, 4 positions, which was great. So hopefully for you the same again, and we'll speak to you a bit later on.
Thanks, Mike. Cheers, boys. Speak to you soon.
Cheers.
Speak to you soon. I can confirm, Mike, that P17 was Andy Foster.
Amazing. So that'll put Foster on pole. That'll put Georges User in 17th position. So, I mean, yeah, that's just going to give us some super close action. I'm not sure you can call it racing. It's just going to be like carnage of just people trying to overtake us. Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited already, and it's still a little while away.
It's going to be borderline Skittles into turn 1.
It is, absolutely. Right, we're going to head back over to the...
That's good. Me and Matt are gonna run now and have a comfort break and leave you on your own and laugh maniacally. Someone's been spun round. It's Poddy.
It's a real shame. He had, sorry to jump in there, Mike. He had some great battles in the first race, and I'm sure if he was managing to hold it in that midfield, we would have been, we would have had some absolute epic racing in store. But unfortunately, he's clearly got terminal damage there, and he's back in the pits. It was absolutely incredible, and it just shows with these three drivers that they've got that knowledge, that racecraft. With Kerbalaja battling and trying to make a move on first place, Stu Neal just behind, he knew that is going to create an opportunity for him. It opens that door, he slides himself up the inside, and he managed to get through and take the second place.
Yep, it's the old classic pass or be passed almost at the front, so good to see that is resumed as we are on board with Phil Lawson. Phil Lawson, a great pedaler, by the way, raced with us in the early seasons of TCSRL, had work commitments, and it's good to see him back, really. Was always one of the faster guys. Historically, ran Alfa Romeos, now in a Volvo. There you go. There you go, sports fans. Just shows you loyalty gets you nowhere in life.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what other word you could use there. It's absolutely spot on. I don't even know. Like I said, it's a bitch of a corner. I don't know what else to put to it.
Yeah, definitely. But you've just panned to the man who's caught my attention the most, and that is Russ Butcher. He is not letting this group go, and as we all know, that BMW, like he said, will come into its own later on in the stint. But just going back to that, Mike, Bill definitely seems to have found another 10 for 2 of pace, sort of a little bit sloppy there on the exit, but just seemingly able to stick a little bit better with Soki, not getting caught up battling Nick. So, right as I said that on cue though, Nick starts to show an interest, so commentator's curse from me. Sorry, Phil. But yeah, you never know. If Phil does have the pace, I'm sure he'll waltz back onto the back of Soki and resume battle. But he hasn't. He's gone wide. Oh! That was commentator's curse.
That's one to potentially look at after the race.
Straight back up the inside of Nick, though. There's one man licking his lips, though, and it's Russ Butcher.
I was watching there, as he said when we spoke to him after race 1, he can get on that. He's a lot more confident on the brakes, especially down into turn 1 after the long straight, and you could see there quite clearly he was later on the brakes, which brought him back into contention behind these two battling.
It's visible, isn't it? You can visibly see the difference between them.
Yeah, absolutely. I was purposely looking for it while you guys were talking about Phil and Papadim fighting it out. I was literally just watching Russ and seeing just how late he can brake, and it really does keep him on the back of them. And as you both said, it'll be good for him towards the later, the latter end of the race where his tyres can come in and he can really start fighting them, and hopefully for him make up a couple of places.
Could be a Howden, mine. Oh god, that was horrendous.
It was horrendous.
I'll retire. I'll retire for the rest of the night. Wow.
Yeah, I'm intrigued as to whether, obviously, Stu dropping back has caused, it's given him that freedom to chase down Giorgio in the front, but I'm intrigued what's happened there with Stu, whether he's just dropped back naturally, whether he's getting tired. It's the second race of the season. As much as it's sim racing, for those that don't do sim racing, it is still incredibly tiring. I wonder whether he's maybe made a mistake or he's just losing a bit of that stamina.
No, it was Soki. Soki's also running. Soki's Volvo running wide. That's easy for me to say. Lawson's the white one in front, but it looks like Soki is going to poke his nose up the inside. Are they going to make contact? Oh, Lawson's squeezing him onto the inside of the curb, and he ultimately has to give up. As we see, it's Slipstream City all the way down. Look at the run that Lawson's got out the last corner. He's pulling away, even with Soki in the slipstream. Question is, big move to the inside, was it on? He thought about it. Lawson covers it off, or not really. Leaves the door open a little bit on the apex. They are side by side, going down to the main straight, and Lawson somehow still holds on to the lead bike. Oh, it was close.
To get that cut back to the inside quite nicely, but I think just got closed off, just closed him off and stopped him fighting that way through for the first spot. I'll get my words out eventually.
Oh, is this going to be a move for Butcher? We're in that crunch time now for the BMW to start coming into its own. I think we could have a potential for the BMW to overhaul 3 cars here. If I know Russ, he'll have the grit between his teeth. He'll fancy this one. And you can just see him eyeing up, taking different lines there behind the Alfa Romeo, which is probably natural anyway in the BMW, but I'd say at this later stage of the race, it looks like he's in better shape than the Alfa. This is one of the overtaking moves down into a slow stopping hairpin turn. But as we mentioned on the hot lap, it's also a position where you're running up and end up braking on a corner that you are turning on, which obviously unsettles the car. But Russ for now just seems to hang back a little bit. That Alfa with the edge just the tiniest bit in front of him. If it was you, Matt, what would you be thinking right now? You know you're in the BMW. Your car's probably got the edge on the ones in front. Are you going to get a little bit desperate, start looking for the moves? There's only 1 minute and 56 left, or are you just going to maybe hang on a couple of corners more and then try something?
I mean, as you've witnessed yourself, I've not always been the best at judging whether an opportunity is on and when it's not. But Russ has been sitting there. He's been patient watching these 3 guys battling. He can see where they're breaking. He can. Oh, he's gone wide. Oh,
Off.
There's about 4 or 5 different position changes there. Russ has gained 1 spot. And it looks like he's trying to get past.
It's okay.
So that's one. Apologies. I was thinking
it's okay.
It's okay. Behind him. This is like you say. This is it. His tyres. He's been watching these guys. He can see where they're breaking. He can see the lines that they're taking, and I'm sure he's got that all locked, and he knows he's seeing opportunities and when he can and can't make that move. But he's made one thanks to a mistake from someone else, and maybe their tyres are on the way out, and his strong, and maybe he can jump these two too.
Oh, Russ down the inside! Oh, it's a brilliant move! It's a brilliant move. He lent on Soki a little bit, but that's a move. This would be some last lap challenge from Russ Butcher if he comes from where he was to finish P4. What a boy. Stay on board with him, mate, because I know that the leaders are going to obviously cross the line before this, but if he's good on the brakes, this is make or break right now. Oh, Lawson defends the inside. Russ gets a good run. Oh, they've touched. Oh God.
Look how close all of these are.
Oh my God. Nothing in it. Lawson
5
dipped
cars
into the
within.
line.
That's got to be 5 cars within what, 200ths of a second, if that. coming
Oh
over the
my
line.
word. I hope you mashed that
I
replay
was going to
button.
say.
Action everywhere.
yeah, epic. That was absolutely brilliant, and I think we shouldn't really.
Doesn't get much better than that, does it?
We shouldn't. So we're going to move over now to my aptly named Skive Pad, which is the best name I could come up with. That kind of sounds a bit like Skypad. So it's me kind of ripping off what Sky Sports do with the F1 to look at replays. So that's basically what I'm going to do. So oh, look at all these replays. I'm just checking I got the right date. Yes, I have. Brilliant. Cool. Let's have a look at a couple of these then. So,
Drum roll, please.
The suspense. You keep
I know, yeah, it's killing me.
us all on our toes here, Mike.
I want to see the last lap again.
that's how we roll. Yeah, we've got quite a few to go through here, but one or two of them I think are repeats. I think they've saved twice on accident. So I'll anyway, we'll take a look as we go through. So this is the first one that I have
It's a real shame.
recorded.
He had,
So
sorry
this
to jump in there,
was
Mike. He had some
they
great
moved
battles in
down
the first race, and
into
I'm sure if he was managing to hold it in that
turn one.
midfield, we would have been, we would have had some absolute epic
It's
racing.
double
So-
speed by the
Yeah,
seams of it. That's like F1 level of speed, that.
yeah, the speed was on 150%.
It's a real shame. He
I
had,
can see.
sorry to
So
jump
this was
in there,
yeah,
Mike. He
the
had some
move
great battles
of
in the first race,
Shaw's
and
down
I'm sure if he
into-
was managing to hold it in that
into
midfield, we
turn
would have been,
one.
you know,
Sorry, the move of
would have had some
Kibalaja,
absolute
on
epic
Yeah.
racing
Neil
still,
down
but
into turn one.
unfortunately,
But that
he's
was
clearly got terminal
that was
damage
brilliant.
there,
That was
and
definitely worth seeing again. Any thoughts on that? Seeing it a second time?
Oh, not really, no. I mean, he seemed to have such a good ability to be able to break late and get up on the inside consistently, not just in that move. Because we saw it in race 1, we saw it a little bit again in race 2. That ability to just get on the brakes late, but still get the thing slowed down and make an apex. So he's clearly very confident on the brakes and very confident in his own ability of not only that, but going around the outside there to have the inside into turn 2. That is just like, that's brilliant. In these things, because they're so slow, that would be such an easy place to lose. But he kept his foot held in, and then obviously, pass or B pass, Stu just decided I'll have a little bit of that and got in on the action as well.
Yeah, brilliant door-to-door stuff that one, it, Matty.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say, you can see that obviously Shaw's was at the front, but you could see both Stu
Nick
and
a little bit better with
Kibalaja.
Soki, not getting caught up
They're looking
battling,
for
Nick.
that
So
cut, that undercut.
right as I said that on cue
Looking for
though,
that switch
Nick
back
starts
to
to
move
show
to
an
the
interest.
inside.
So
You can physically
commentators
see
curse
that
from me. Sorry, Phil.
Kibalaja got
But,
him on the inside into that
yeah,
last
you never
turn,
know.
but you can see that Stu
If
was
Phil
on that
does have
little
the
bit
pace, I'm
wider,
sure he'll waltz
hoping
back
that he
onto
could
the
try
back of
get that switch
Soki
back,
and
get that
resume battle.
speed
But he
off the
hasn't. He's
corner
gone wide.
down that very long straight.
Yeah, that was the mistake we were
Nick
looking
a little
for
bit better with
from
Soki,
the-
not getting caught up battling Nick.
from the Volvo
So,
there, just seeing that.
right
was
as I
a
said that on
mistake.
cue though, Nick starts to show an interest. So commentators curse from me. Sorry, Phil.
Next
But
on the replay, we have this one. So this is a little bit after that incident, I think, when they were battling away as what ended up becoming a 5. It was a 3 at the moment. I think there was a bit of contact there, if we remember right. A little bit of door banging. But again, Matty, great racing.
no, it was Soki. Soki's also
The racing throughout the field has been
Soki's
phenomenal.
Volvo running
It's my
wide.
first
That's
insight
easy
into
for me to
the
say.
into
Loss is the
touring
white one in
on the
front,
sim
but it looks like
racing, and
Soki is
it makes me want to get on my sim. It makes me want
not
to build
really.
it back up again
Leaves
and
the
have a
door
go,
open a
but,
little bit on the apex.
for
They
now,
are
I think
side
I'm
by
happy to
side,
think on the spot,
going down to the main
unfortunately,
straight,
so
and
that's what I
Lawson
think.
somehow
It's
still holds on to the lead by.
Just from where we sat, this was moved down into turn 1 for the lead. Again,
Oh, it was close.
just parking his car in the right place. Absolutely brilliant racing again from those two around.
Yep, it's what you want to see, you know. Both cars still pointing in the same direction, still in the race. It's hard, but it's and somehow still holds on to the lead by.
4 more replays. That's the one we've just seen.
Poor Southie's gonna be out of time by the time we've watched all the replays.
Gonna fall asleep.
Or you're just gonna
Oh,
maybe
it's so warm.
hang on a couple of corners more and then try something.
I mean, as you've witnessed yourself, I've not always been the best at judging when
Yeah,
the
this
opportunity
is
is
what
on and when
gained
it's
Russ
not.
the
But
position on,
Russ has been sitting
Nick, I
there. He's
think.
been patient watching these three guys.
Nick runs
battling.
wide here.
You
He
can
has
see
like
where they're breaking.
in between moment.
Oh, he's gone wide. Oh,
Off. Yeah.
there's about 4.
Because that was the penultimate lap.
Yeah, brilliant. So I think that one will be this one here, hopefully.
Got one of the perfect people here with Rob being
Literally, the Honda sat right behind it all there. Yeah.
literally sitting here watching it all unfold and taking a bit of an advantage from
Oh,
the
it's
situation.
on the
And I
inside!
believe he gained a spot, or maybe two.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a brilliant
I
move.
mean, look
It's a
at that.
brilliant
It
move.
was
He lent on
absolutely
Soki a
brilliant
little
racing.
bit.
We'll get Rob's insight on this now. We've just got a couple more quick replays just to go through. I think this is the one that we wanted to see with the incident. Oh, I think it's just missed the incident into the last
Just
hole.
missed it.
It's just missed it.
Look how close
unfortunately,
all of
but
these
this was
are.
a cross of the
Oh
line.
my god!
Nothing
Nothing in it.
Gaggles
Five
and
yards
you
to the
wouldn't
line.
describe all that, does it? It was
Yeah.
absolutely brilliant stuff. That was phenomenal. Yeah, Rob, welcome into the commentary box, mate. Cheers for joining us. I mean, it looked epic from here, but look, I'll let my colleagues ask you some questions, but I'm sure you're going to have lots to say after a race like that. But over to you, gentlemen.
If it's all right, Aaron, I'll just quickly
Yep,
jump in. And
I was going to let you take the reins because I stole it first time.
I very much appreciate it. It very much seemed, Rob, nice to
You, mate.
trying to do my best impression of a commentator. For the most part, we didn't see a huge amount of you. We was watching an incredible battle at the front and the incredible battle that you had the joy of watching through the front window of the car because you were sitting tight behind. But what was it like from your perspective, especially when they're all getting all close, they're bumping, and that contact at the end? I bet your eyes just lit up and you was like, yes, this is my chance.
I was hoping that they'd all run a bit deeper and maybe it was in an alpha because I think I would have outdragged them all to the line. But it's just, the more they fought, just the more it come in. I was surprised how well the tyres kept in, to be fair, because in practice I was running round and I think by the end of the last lap I was on 37% left front. And this time nowhere even near that. So it's just looking after the tyres and struggling really. I think I could have been in that fight the whole way through, but getting stuck behind the Audi for a few laps, I lost 2.5 seconds. And then it just came into its own and they all started fighting. And I was like, if we had one more lap maybe, probably could have had them all. But it was great. It was good to see them all being respectful and door banging still, but no one was taking each other out. It just maybe one more lap.
That's the thing with racing, isn't it? You get to the end and it's quite often that case of one more lap and you just think you could have got 1, 2, or in this case maybe 3 more spots. But it was phenomenal racing and fair play to you for being in that position. You kept your cool and like you said, you looked after your tyres to be in that position to take advantage at the end. So well done, mate.
Thanks. Yeah, it's just hard when the Audis and the Beamers, they're so quick off the line. So if you get stuck behind one of them and they're not as quick as you, it's trying to do a good pass and then trying to break away, because I think the Audi kept on me for a couple of laps. It was quite hard to break away, but when I finally did, I could then go, right, head down, don't have to look behind me anymore. Let's see if we can get after these.
There you go. Hello, Mr. South. How are you doing?
I'm good, mate. You?
Yeah, I'm keeping well, thank you. I asked Russ about the characteristics of the BMW, and he gave us a good sort of description on where it's strong and where it isn't. And obviously, you've alluded to the Audi as well. We've seen that the Alfa and the Volvos clearly have a bit of an advantage in a straight line. So I just want to know what's drawn you to the Honda. Is there anything in particular that's quirky about the car compared to the rest of them, or is it just purely you fancy something different? You didn't want to be like the rest of the drivers.
Something different. I like the way the Alfa drive. I thought it was quite forgiving. If you ran wide a little bit and you could crank some more lock in, it was quite forgiving like that. Honda, you just got to get it on the apex and get it nailed. It's got such a good drive out the bends. So if you can get the drive, you've done half the battle's done. As soon as you get to the slipstream, you can fight with an Alfa. You can fight with a Volvo quite comfortably. It just doesn't quite have probably the cornering capabilities, and obviously they were battling quite hard through the race, so their tyres were probably in worse shape by the time I got to them. But
yeah, very true, and I'm sure you'll get some good quality stream time from Mr. Bullen, with him being very Honda orientated in the past and still so now.
I'm not Honda biased at all.
as he shows his Honda tattoo
not
to
at
the
all.
camera.
It's fine.
No,
The viewers can see.
no, we've had some good battles, me and Mike in the Honda days in the TCR. So yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
You know, I thought I'd keep with that. It's a step different. A bit of it was the championship as well. I knew I didn't have nothing to fight for in the manufacturer if I joined in with a Volvo or an Alfa. So I thought I'll go different and let's have something to fight for.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Can't fault it. It's I must admit though, even though the cars are clearly like very obviously Alpha is the car to be, or it is at this track anyway. They yous all seem to be pretty close and giving pretty good racing throughout the field. So fair play. It's considering some people were scared that me included, to be honest, that it could be an absolute walk away from four-wheel drive perspective. It's looking good so far.
Yeah, I think it's quite strange because I did watch some of the esports, and obviously the Audi's absolutely dominated.
Yeah,
The Alphas struggled, but then obviously is it the characteristics of the track that sort of suit that Audi where they were?
could be. Yep, it could be.
But you know, when you got Shaw's, Kerbalesia, Stew in those cars, you just know you're not going to really fight them.
Yeah,
So be something different, and then you know, top 5 is where I'm aiming to be. Then best of the rest if I can, out of them, and just have good battles.
yeah. Well, I mean, you must fancy yourself a reverse grid win. You won't be a million miles away from pole. Obviously, it's a massive swap, but with that pace, if you can keep the Honda's tyres in good nick, I'm sure you fancy seeing yourself going forwards.
Yeah, 100%. It's just the Honda, and I feel like I've struggled the opening couple of laps, which has then let me lose a couple of positions, which then means once I get past, the gap is there to try and make up. But maybe this won't be the case with the reverse grid. Everyone's going to be a lot tighter. You have to be a lot more witty about you because there's going to be a lot more contact with, you know, trying to judge where people brake now because it's so difficult. You know, I caught Boki in race 1 because I weren't expecting him to brake where he braked for going onto the final turn. I go quite deep into there and he really caught me out, and unfortunately I had a big contact and really hit him hard.
Ah man, that's a shame. But that's the characteristic of that corner, with it being off camber as well. Like we alluded to it in qualifying, there's so many different ways you can actually tackle the corner. It kind of invites that contact.
Yeah, again, when I was chasing down Poddy in race 1, he took the inside line and it just put him under so much pressure down the final straight, even though he was in the Alpha, because of get the drive in the Honda. Once you're in the tow, there's not a lot you can do, and then it's just, can I scare him enough to outbrake himself?
Yeah.
Which luckily I did again, so I gained another place on the last lap, so
There
not
you
doing
go.
too bad.
No, not too bad. Not too bad. So what we're saying is it could be a last lap lunge for the overtake to get the win.
I'd definitely give it a go. I'd be as clean as possible though.
Of course. I'll hand back over to Mike and Matt if you've got any other things to ask.
No. Practice has just finished, so it'll just be moving over to the warm up now. So we'll let you get on. Great catching up with you, and hopefully we'll catch up with you again soon.
Yep. Speak to you soon, boys. Thank you.
All the best, Southie.
Cheers, Rob.
Cool. It's always great to talk to the drivers. I know, other streams do it, and we've done it in the past, but it is great just to get an idea of how people are feeling and what they're experiencing in the car. I think it really does just add to our understanding as well, because as much as we've done lots of sim racing, we haven't driven these cars, and what's interesting is a lot of them are talking about the tyre wear and how the tyres are reacting, but once we introduce ballast and the tyre wear that comes with that, I think that's going to make the subsequent races of this season really, really interesting. So really looking forward to that. I think it'll be good to get that insight again then once the ballast kicks in and see how much of a difference it makes. But
I can quite imagine. I'm very intrigued how those three boys that have been smashing it around this track tonight, see how they're going to do. Whether they're going to keep it nice and clean, keep it patient, and make the way through, or whether one or two of them, or in the words of Miley Cyrus, going like a wrecking ball and try and push their way through. Reverse grids are always entertaining, aren't they? Regardless of whether it's because of contact or just incredibly impressive driving. The one that comes to mind was, I'll head back to you, Mark, because we're about to go green, I think. Manuel Alves. Abradovic has hit the wall too.
Oh, that's not good. Not good for the Volvos. Oh, Russ is around as well. Oh, look at that! It was that poddy flack up the inside of Stu. A couple of oohs and ahs here.
Sorry, yeah, there was just, I see smoke a car going sideways and there was contact. I'm not sure who it was.
Three wide. Oh, big moment there. Papa Tim.
That's Poddy Flack.
Is it Poddy? Yeah, it is Poddy. Yeah, we thought it was Nick. It's a disaster.
He made an incredible overtake there on Stu Neal, and
oh, that's a
someone
shame.
just got into his rear quarter panel, I think, and it spun him out into the key litter.
Meanwhile, Derek Neal's having a good race. P5. It's very park life. Not quite enough though. Carl Smith settles for third. Wow. Oh. Oh, don't get too greedy. Yeah, he did, and straight through comes you. Oh, big contact for
Curb Elijah.
Oh God, it's all happening in race 3. Welcome to touring cars, Matt.
This is incredible. Do you know what? I think this is the highlight of my week. It's going to be every Wednesday. But right, it's time to watch these absolute madmen in these touring cars. This is incredible. It's Stu being up in 6th position and fighting. Make that 5th.
Make that 5th.
I don't think it's a bold prediction here, but Stu could be on for a win at this rate. He is absolutely flying through this grid.
Oh, Phil back up the inside of Stu though. I bet he didn't see that one coming. Two Audis.
Stu Neal's rubbing his hands together here, I think, waiting for something to happen. Smith's dropped back even more now. I think that's Phil.
Oh, Phil up the inside. Wow, I honestly thought he was going to have that done there, but Anton holds on.
In the matter of what, 2 laps, Carl Smith, who was battling up the front, trying to get second place, has now dropped back to 6th because of the cars behind him. How quickly that's turned around.
This is cagey. This is very cagey. Yeah.
Oh, he's pushing him.
Oh, that's a deep line from Anton. He's trying to get a big run onto the home straight. It's brilliant.
I keep forgetting that I'm commentating, or supposed to be commentating on this. I'm just watching this in awe, just enjoying it, and then every now and then my brain goes, "I'm supposed to be commentating on this one."
Oh, Shaw's gets through. Oh, big contact from Phil.
Jules has come through from well, I say absolutely nowhere. Last time I looked at the tower, he was 10th, 11th maybe. He's absolutely flown.
One thing, oh, that was Russ getting turned around.
Yeah, I thought it was a mistake, but he's getting turned around. I tell you what, you can see how much pressure these guys are under just by looking at the consistency rate in there. They're all in the low 90s and the high 80s because they're just having so much of a hard time with all the drivers around them. It's almost impossible for them to be consistent in this race. They're under so much pressure.
Wow.
That was a... Semenga's come into the pits and retired.
I was going to say, I think it was Anton who ran really, really wide, yeah. Here we go. He shows.
There you go.
Here we go, sports
Phil's
fan.
about to try and take him as well, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. It's that age-old thing, innit? It's not his race. As much as it's nice to be up there and he wants to try and fight for a podium position or a win, it's these guys. The pace today has been phenomenal, and he knows full well letting them through is giving him the best chance.
It's very true, but Phil's run wide, and that looks like it's Phillips back through. One thing to consider in here, Matt. So obviously, Mike was alluding to the incident points. With it being race 3 and everyone obviously door bangs through, what tends to happen is this is like your most likely event that you get DQ'd in.
Right.
So whoever's got the most incident points to play with out of Stu and Shaw's is actually in control of the race.
Someone's round coming out.
Someone was around there. Yep.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Aaron.
That's
I
all
just
right.
see the smoke in the background. I think that was Smith.
It might be. I'm looking at the leaderboard.
He's dropping down there, isn't he?
I agree. Yeah, look at that. That's a bit of an unusual line. Must have been Carl. Has to have been. Shame.
What happened there? Maybe he just. I don't know if he got nudged or whether he got on the gas a little bit too quickly in the back end. Maybe just stepped out.
Could be, but that might be rare for the four-wheel drive. He might have just got deep, but we flick back to Phil Lawson having a run on Mr. Phillips again. Looks like it's job done, signed, sealed, delivered. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. I'll shut up. I'll take my humble pie. It's still very much game on for that last spot on the podium.
I wonder now what. Sorry, come on.
Oh. Might have a slowdown penalty with that. Looks like it. He's given that.
Yeah. He got on the brakes nice and early there and just let all three of them through, didn't he?
The other thing is track limits and the slowdown penalties can really bother you. You end up like lifting, Matt, so like you'll be full throttle, but you come off a tiny bit, and the delta that you got to give back comes down. So it's a real balancing act.
That was unfortunate because if that is a slowdown, that's cost him three places.
Definitely.
Purely because of how close they were behind.
That's how it looked, didn't it? Oh, big contact, floor it, Soki, he did. Good lad. Kept it put in the... Oh! Phillips nearly losing it as well. It's like Tokyo Drift out there, Mike.
I mean, you boys have raced in this league, you know these drivers. How disappointed is Dave Phillips going to be that he was leading? And because he's made a couple of mistakes, he's now sitting back mid-pack.
Massively. Yep, totally get it. But this is the battle we all really want to see, isn't it? This is Stu Neal, Shaw's user. This is David and Goliath. It's Senna and Prost. It's two men who've been in TCSRL for longer than life itself. Last lap battles. This is what it's all about. Shaw's probably been the quicker man on the night. Stu starting to think about slipstream. Shaw's has definitely got the run. Is he going to get a switch back in the last corner because Shaw's is completely up the inside here? Or is he just going to let Stu take the win? It looks like he's going to let Stu have the win. That's pretty reasonable from a man who's took 2 wins already this evening. But it'd have been some stat to take all 3. So fair play. Alfa Romeo factory boys doing the job there. Stu Neal takes the win for the reverse grid.
There's been no ballast, so that has happened in the past.
Yeah,
so...
he usually just walks it, doesn't he? Those first 3 races, there's no one ever really anywhere near him. But like you say, refreshing. I was going to say it would have been. That must have been one of the first times a Grand Slam could have actually been on like fastest lap, pole position, and a win in all 3 races. I don't think anyone's ever done that. But sadly, guys, I am at Knockhill tomorrow for touring cars, so I have to dip because I've done 0 packing because I wanted to commentate. So I'm going to have to bail. Really, really, really sorry, but this is me signing off, and I just wanted to get that little last bit in before I actually go. So it's been a pleasure, gentlemen, and I will see you next week, and apologies once again for dipping, but touring cars, as we see, provide the best racing, and I've got to go pack.
No problem, mate. You enjoy touring cars. Good to see you, and we'll catch you next week, mate. Cheers for your time.
Enjoy, Aaron. Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
Right, replays. Oh, we got so many replays to watch.
I'm glad because I probably shouldn't say it because I should be professional. I was lost through quite a lot of that race, knowing what was going on, who was trying to pass who. It was difficult to keep up in all that chaos.
Yeah. Sorry, that was a replay of people sat in the pits doing absolutely nothing. I'm not sure why I got that one. So this is a replay early on. So this is just a couple of minutes into the race. So this is, I think, just all the carnage going around, and I think we might catch somebody in a little spin.
Oh, look at that!
Somebody going off there.
It was that Polly
all
flank
sorts
up the inside of Stu.
This is just your typical race. Race 3 sort of reverse grid carnage. So let's have a look at what the next
Oh,
play
don't get
we've
too
got
greedy.
Is again more absolute carnage. Like, see just all sorts of dust getting kicked up in the back.
Yeah, he did, and
this was
straight through comes you. Big contact for
Curb Elijah.
which was disappointing for.
It was. That was Curb Elijah, and he did really well after that to come back and finish mid-pack because, that put him right at the back of the grid.
It did. We've got some drivers waiting to speak to us. We'll come to the second position and obviously the last few replays. I think this is looking at a move down.
So Menga's come into the pits and retired.
I was going to say, I think it was Anton who ran really, really wide. Yeah.
Hi guys.
What's it called? Audi, and through it goes. Will just be 2 moments, just looking at a few more replays, and then we'll get to our driver interviews. Got 2 more to show. So this one is so this will be the Lawson Phillips.
It's that age-old thing, in it. It's not his race as much as it's nice to be up there, and he wants to try and fight for a podium position or a win. These guys, the pace today has been phenomenal, and he knows full well letting them through. He's giving it the best chance.
That's Lawson's mistake.
Very true, but Phil's run
He gets
wide,
through and then
that looks
decides
like
that he
it's
wants
Phillips
to battle,
back
doesn't he, and
through.
try and keep that spot, and it just brings the rest of the pack up behind him, and then.
It does.
Unfortunately.
And our last replay is this one here.
That's how it looked,
This
didn't
is
it?
just, I think it's yours battling for the lead, is it? Nope. This is Papadin battling into turn 1. Just.
I believe Papadin goes wide on this one. There's a bit of contact, maybe.
Yeah, that's it.
There we go.
Big contact, big contact. Floor it, Soki, he did.
That's it. Brilliant. Excellent. Cool. Great. Excellent. Cheers for joining us in the comments box. We've got George User and Stu Neal with us. Cheers for coming along. Well, I mean, Matty, I'm sure you've got lots of questions for these two. We've seen some epic racing from these two, along with Kublija tonight, obviously battling for those front 3 positions, particularly in race 1 and 2 for almost the entire race. But yeah, Matty, over to you, mate. Fire away with any questions you have for these two fantastic drivers, and congratulations to both of them for their race wins tonight.
Thank you, Mike. It's difficult to try and pinpoint. There was that much going on with both of you two. First off, congratulations! What a fantastic night, and it's lovely to meet you. Obviously, new to the championship in the comments box, so thank you for having me. An incredible night for both of you tonight. Yours, I mean, I don't know how you can be really 2 wins and a second place. Are you slightly disappointed that Stu managed to just nip that first place on the last race?
No, absolutely not. Happy for Stu. He deserved the race win, so he was faster, and I tried it on the last straight, and I was beside him, but I didn't want to take too many risks, so it was okay. 2 wins, pole position, 3 fastest laps, and a second place. So yeah, there's no reason to be disappointed, I think.
No, of course, it's a near perfect night for you, and it was some incredible driving. It's my first proper experience of watching some touring cars on sim racing and watching the league, and it was incredible to see some unbelievable talent and an incredible drive from you all night long. Just very quickly going over to Stu, how was that when you could see Shaw's slowly catching you, because at one point he was still mid-pack and you were up battling for the lead, and he managed to get through and close you down coming around into the last lap?
Yeah, I expected it, to be honest. He's obviously that fast, so I got some lucky breaks managing to get through the traffic, because it obviously was a big reverse. We weren't expecting it to be as far back as it was. And with the difference in pace between the front and the back, it's obviously, I heard you mentioning Carnage then when we just came on, and it's kind of what we expected, with the grid being so big in reverse and such a huge difference in lap times. But yeah, it like I said, I saw him coming through, because you can watch and see the people up on the top of the screen. I can see who's in what position up to about 8th or whatever. And yeah, I could see him slowly creeping up, and then I saw him in my mirror, and I was thinking, oh, it's not going to be long now. But yes, he obviously was pushing right at the end. I thought he might have me on the last corner, but no, I think he thought I'll fight another day and not take us out or whatever. But no, it's brilliant, really good.
Yeah, it was a thoroughly enjoyable watch all night long. So I do appreciate you putting on that show for us, especially like I say for me coming over to touring cars in the sim racing world for the first time. Just one note I did make from race 2, when it was the three of you up front with you two and Bojan Kurbalaja. At one point, it like George was pulling away ever so slightly while you battled Bojan, and then next time we came back to you, Bojan was up battling for first, and you were a little bit further behind, but we didn't actually see what happened. What was there anything that actually caused you to slightly drop back and free up that space for Bojan to chase down George in first?
I was making no end of mistakes all night, to be fair. Practice went really well and quali went really well, and then the races, I was just, I mean, I think race 1, I didn't even get a lap in. It was that bad. I was just track limits everywhere. So yeah, I made a lot of mistakes tonight, unfortunately, but thankfully it didn't cost me too much. They weren't too big of mistakes, but that was enough to let Kerbalier get away. And obviously he could focus on Shaw's then, and it broke that with my mistake. I'd lost a toe, so I couldn't stay with them then, and Shaw's was just dragging him round. And I was thinking, I need him to battle with him, if you get what I mean, so I can try and catch back up again. But
Yeah, once you get out of the slipstream, you're done.
Yeah,
the slipstream is, it's what Stu says. I was carrying Bojan, with me, and coming back into the slipstream is hard because you're gonna push too hard, make little mistakes, and then you're gone.
that's what I was doing.
Yeah, I saw, mate.
One thing you've got to remember is that it's the first race night of the season. I don't know how long your off season has been, but it's the first one back. So the racing that we saw, you certainly don't need to be hard on yourself for not being able to keep it consistent through those races. But from both of you, like I said again, thank you. It's incredible night racing, and congratulations on the results that you've had. And I'll hand over to Mike.
I'm still getting used to the car because I think now I've been racing these cars for maybe 4 weeks now, and a lot of practice, I must say, but slowly getting used to the car. And coming from a TCR car is much different, and but slowly I'm getting used to the Alpha. And I tried lots of cars. I tried the Volvo, I tried the Vectra, but I think the Alpha is the car to race this season. So we'll see what happens next.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that, gents, if I could, because I'm curious. Obviously, as you know, I've raced the TC cars, but I've not touched these the Super Tourers. With them being lighter, do you find it easier to race wheel to wheel, like we saw you guys all the way through that race, just nose to tail? Is that easier just to keep that control and avoid incidents just because they're so much lighter?
You tell, Stu.
Well, for me, it's no different. I can race just as close in the TCR as I can in these. The TCRs are a little bit more tail happy, so I prefer them because I like front wheel drive car with a loose rear end on it. So that's why I like the Cupra, because it handles how I like a car to handle. Likewise with the Alpha, I've tried some of the others, and I can get fairly close with the lap times, but I can be more consistent with this one, apart from tonight when I kept making mistakes. But I could be more consistent with this on than the others, and it just kind of works for me. I don't think it's necessarily the fastest car out there, because there's different cars that are different on different tracks. So there's a couple of people in Audis, and I think you'll find that if there's an Audi suited track, they'll be long gone.
Yeah, and we don't know how the ballast is going to affect the performance of the four-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive cars yet either, do we? So
no, not at all.
There's a lot of unknowns to come in this season yet, and it'll be very interesting. But well, I mean, what can I say other than thank you to you two particularly, and Bojan, for giving us such a fantastic, particularly race 1 and race 2 was just epic to watch, absolutely brilliant. But really looking forward to the rest of the season. I think we all came in a little bit blind, not really knowing what to expect from the Super Tourers, but it's certainly given us an epic night of racing, so we really enjoyed it.
That's the same for us, man.
Yeah,
it's all a surprise. Yeah, but that's going to be next week. I think as I read it, I think I'm going to get 58 kilos. So I don't know what it does on this car. Okay, I know what it does on the TCR, but I don't know what it does on the super touring car.
No,
Yeah.
no. If
We'll
we could
see.
get them
We'll
ballasts
see.
put on pretty quick, it'd be nice so we can get some practice in and see.
Yeah.
But thanks to you guys for putting on a show, because it's great to have a commentary, because I'm really looking forward to watching that back.
Absolutely, me
and
too.
seeing it. So
Well,
thanks very much to you guys.
Don't thank us until you've watched it. It might be rubbish. But no, like I say, we're just here to fill AP's seat until he's in a position to come back. But no, we're glad to do it. We enjoy it. So
All
good
right,
to
guys.
be here. Nice
Wow.
one. Cheers for joining us all. Appreciate it, and hopefully we'll speak again next week.
We'll see you next week, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Brilliant. Well, that is another fantastic night of touring car racing. Absolutely done and dusted. I think Matty is probably the same as me. He's about ready for bed after all that excitement now.
Absolutely.
I hope you enjoyed your first sort of proper stream experience, both in comms and it being touring cars. So I'm sure you'll have a lot more insight next week now, because obviously you've had a bit of a taste of what to expect and you've got to know the drivers a little bit. But yeah, it's just epic fun, isn't it? It's just it's non-stop action.
It's incredible. Genuinely, really enjoyed it. It's more than worth the late night, because I'd normally be asleep by now, quite easily, being up at 5 o'clock in the morning for work. But
I mean,
to watch that and be a part of that, even though, be it in the comms box, more than worth the late night and potentially being a little bit tired in the morning. It's been incredible, and I've enjoyed being in the comms box. Hopefully I've not embarrassed myself
No, mate, you've done a cracking job. Like I said, I genuinely thought I might have to smash that replay button about 3 or 4 times the entire night, but I've done it about 8 times a race, so I mean that shows how much action we had to watch back. But anyway, all good. Cheers for joining me, Matty. Cheers to Aaron, who's had to shoot off and pack because he's very unorganised and he's off to Knockhill in the morning for the British Touring Car race. I'm very jealous, but Scotland's a little bit far from me, being in South Wales. But we will be back next week, same time, same show. Hope you enjoyed. If you've got any comments or suggestions for content that you want to see from us, let us know and we'll add it in, as long as it's a good idea. Obviously, if it's not, then we won't.